Here goes another one, guys. Another game company that's been long established, actually, for years and years. Seems to be going the way of the dodo. It also seems that they've known this has been coming for a while, and they just decided not to tell you guys. There's a few updates here we got to go through. This is pretty big. So let's, I guess, dive in. Quick disclaimer, I've had 2 hours of sleep in the past 48 hours. So if I'm not super chipper, that might be a little bit why. And I apologize for any yawns that might come up. But my day is how it is, and that's fine. It's no big deal. I'm happy to do this for you guys. I've actually been sitting on this story for days now. Like actually quite a while. Maybe even, I don't know. Time's been so weird after I got sick, and there was videos to make, and my luggage was missing. It's been a mess, so I apologize, but been trying to get this stuff out for you guys. But this, I wanted to kind of develop. Sadly, there's not really a point of contact because their whole website's down. This is Devil Pig Studio. This is Devil Pig Games, and this is their devilpiggames.com website, which is not down. It's still being hosted here, right? But it just says, we're closed. Devil Pig Games is facing serious difficulties due to recent, unforeseen, and brutal events beyond our control. We are making every effort to find a long-term solution, but until this has been fixed, we are stopping all operation. As soon as these troubles cease, we will resume our activity and inform you. This is not true, and I can show you exactly why here in a moment. So we're going to dive pretty deep into here to get the information that's available right now, and the rest will just kind of have to play out. I'll keep you guys informed, of course. But yeah, this is not the case. I don't know who wrote this. The employees of Devil Pig Games just are blindsided by this. It seems they're left in the dark. They don't really know what's going on. The owner is essentially gone dark, and not just the dark mode here. So yeah, what's going on here? Okay. So if you don't know Devil Pig Games, they've done some campaigns. They've done 13 campaigns. Most of them funded. These 2 did not, but otherwise they're doing fairly good here. If you go into their BGG link here, they actually have 128 credits to their name, but of course a lot of them are like expansions and stuff like that. But I mean, as you can see, 2015, 2017, they've been around for about 7 years. They've done, Shadows over Normandy. They've done a whole bunch of stuff. Some Warhammer 40,000 IP games and stuff like that. I mean, they've been a player, not necessarily the biggest player ever, but certainly a game company that a lot of you know or have come across, or you've at least heard of some of their games. They're definitely not like a very small indie Kickstarter only kind of thing, right? It's where it's like 3 guys and they've done 2 games on GameFound or some junk, right? Like it's nothing like that. Now, there's actually a little bit more to this video. I'm going to have a good story at the end. I'm going to have a little bit of positivity up here at the front because the rest is kind of muck. And I don't necessarily want my videos to be like completely negative, right? So without further ado, of course, thanks to my sponsor, GameWorkCreate. They do great stuff. They are really focusing on the board games, and they're really focused on the RPG stuff right now. In fact, they've actually stopped with the whole 3D printing thing, at least for the foreseeable future. But they keep getting new great stuff in. So like I noticed here that obviously they have the Zeria, whatever. That's hard to get. They've been doing that. Of course, they have Infinity stuff as well as some of those exclusives and whatnot. They have the super cool Snap Ships. If you remember, that was like a build your own ships board game kind of thing. Just some cool stuff. So feel free to check them out. They are linked down in the description below. Of course, they support the channel, and so you guys getting cool stuff through them helps support the channel in a way because it supports them, in which case they support me, and you get a cool game out of it or a cool RPG out of it too. So feel free to check everything they have down below. They have a whole bunch of stuff, including some charity stuff. So if you want to look at a cool way to do some giving in a very kind of nerdy way, then definitely check that out for sure. Okay, moving on from that, we have another update. This is actually from one of the people that were part of Devil Pig Games, now Pig from Hell Games. I'll explain that in a little bit. This was on their Discord. There was also a Facebook group, I believe, that there were some postings. It says that everyone, hello, sorry for the delay. The head of the company has decided to close our site, our store, our pledge manager, and all our activities for reasons beyond our control. A press release will be shared in the coming days. again, probably not true. More on that later. To formalize our position, the employees of Pig from Hell Games, formerly Devil Pig Games, we apologize for the long wait and lack of communication. For the time being, we don't know much more than you. Now, the whole Pig from Hell Games, Devil Pig Games, again, that'll be explained. Like, we're going to dive into that. So, like, what's going on there? Why is that there when their website still says Devil Pig Games? Why doesn't it just point to Pig from Hell Games? If that's a thing, it's not really like a huge like thing like Devil Pig Games where you can just Google it and there's a website for you to kind of, you know, shop around and stuff like that. Nothing like that. There was another post here. This person said, I have no idea. For what I gather, DPG is filed for bankruptcy, but since BRO, we have been served by another company, Pigs from Hell. From what I understand, Pigs from Hell has been acquired by Magada. If you go to their website, you will see it has the same layout and is also under construction. Ian is no longer from Pigs from Hell since summer of 2023. So, yeah, Pigs from Hell's kind of been dealing with them for a while now. Now, again, more on that in a little bit. Now, what's unfortunate is Devil Pig Games does have a Kickstarter that's still outstanding, Heroes of the Pacific Battle of Guadalcanal or whatever. And, you know, for a lot of people, they got it, but not everybody, right? So this guy, Tim, he kind of says it really well. Actually, I don't think anybody got it yet. So, like, nobody's gotten this game yet. They were, like, trying to pay for PayPal just in, like, August, and then, like, that wasn't working out, stuff like that. You notice the last update was September 8th, 2023, and here Tim laid it out really well. It says, when this was funded in April 2023, you must have known that the company was facing financial difficulties, yet you continued to crowdfund and take our money. This is something I see time and time again. Now, we don't know what these unforeseen circumstances are that are completely out of control. No, I don't know of any business that's ever said, yeah, we done goofed up. It's always just some ridiculous thing. It's COVID, it's Ukraine war, it's whatever it is. It's always something else and not their own decisions, right? It's always just, oh yeah, stuff got expensive and that's why I wasn't able to continue my Ponzi scheme kind of thing, right? I'm not saying that's what they were doing here. I'm just saying, like, that seems to be the attitude I get in a general, like, that's how I would describe it anyway. Like, regardless of whatever financial decisions or bad business that they're running, it's always somebody else's fault, right? It's always something else out of your control. And it definitely, I mean, yeah. If the problem is, regardless of like what catastrophic could mean here, ideally, you're running a company that can withstand a failure, right? In other words, a catastrophic failure, right? It's always like the companies that like get their anasteer, where it's suddenly like, oh, that wasn't what we thought it was going to be. Now the company's in ruins, right? It's like, if you can't survive that, then yeah, you're on a rocky boat, that's for sure. Now, a lot of the margins are pretty slim on the board game side of things, but a lot of the business decisions aren't exactly the best on the board game side of things either. So, yeah, just kind of interesting to see that. But as you can see, a lot of questions, a lot of people wondering what the heck is going on. Nothing good by the sounds of it. So let's look at here. This is a, I think it's in French normally. I have went ahead and translated it to, auto-translated it to English so we can read it here on this channel. As you can see, Devil Pig Games is permanently closed. I did increase the font on that. Devil Pig Games was deregistered on March 7th, 2023. March 7th. If we go back here and go to updates, this was in September. No mention that the company is like not done. Oh, hey, we're doing production. Look at that. We're 85% done validating. We haven't produced anything. Doesn't look like they're probably going to produce anything, just as an FYI, which is super unfortunate. Now, of course, these exact 100%, 5%, they're like, of course, these are fake percentages, right? It's not like it's actually tied to any sort of like hard data. I've yet to see a graph on any of these updates that ever made me think that it's based on real data. But either way, yeah, no, it's been closed since March, and they just decided not to tell you. It's this kind of like, this is the issue, right? Part of them wants to say, hey, this is an investment, right? Mythic Games has used that. This is an investment. And then they throw around stuff like that. And a lot of backers want to feel like they're investors. But obviously we're not. We don't got to be told crap. They can just not tell us, keep us in the dark, keep us uninformed and ignorant. And it's just unfortunate that that's the case. There are a few things legal around how much you can say on certain things. But you can definitely let people know, hey, by the way, we deregistered on March 7th. So scrolling down here a little bit, you're going to see here that they actually, in 2020, had a small liquidation here. But in this one, the closing type on 7/3/2023 was closure due to insufficient assets. And so now they actually have a liquidator. They have an address and all that sort of stuff, right? This is all the kind of the public knowledge here. Again, this is just the Devil Pig Games thing on here. So, yeah, kind of unfortunate that this has been in liquidation since April, and we're just now hearing about it. It was active for 7 years. Super unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. So, let's go to Board Game Geek. This is Christophe Passat. He mentioned that that update, but he made a great point here saying, and since this date, 0 messages or anticipation. It's a joke. No respect for customers. It's not even so much that they haven't said anything since, because I think the people talking and saying that don't have any more information, or are not in a position to share, perhaps. But the owner obviously is just like MIA, right? They're just gone, I guess. But what's unfortunate is, again, this has been the case since April. And, again, nothing. In fact, if we go back over here, you're going to catch a kind of a weird coincidence here, right here, right? Well, if we go back to these comments, and it loads, this was funded in April. So this company liquidated because they didn't have the assets. April, what was it? 2nd, 3rd, something like that. No, it's 7/3. March. So it's listed the non-American way, I think. No, it must be this because there's 10/28. Either way, it's been for a while here, right? Which is kind of unfortunate, and yet they're running like it's just so messy. It's so gross. So there's a lot here about Devil Pig Games and about how they've kind of been holding the copyright to their games for a while. If you check the boxes of their most recent stuff, it'll actually not say Devil Pig Games. Sorry, I said that wrong. It's the Pigs from Hell that seems to have acquired at least the IP and name. But again, we haven't been told any of this kind of stuff, right? So this is people trying to figure it out. This is just people trying to figure out what's going on because they're not being told, and it's really unfortunate. So I'll go and link down to this below. You can go and check it out if you want to kind of internet sleuth with the rest of us as we try and, because again, we're not being told any of this. It's just happening. Apparently it's been happening, and we were just told nothing about it. It's just so unfortunate to see this happen. And especially with an outstanding Kickstarter like that. If we go to the Heroes and Normandy's Battle of Kian? I'm probably saying that wrong. I apologize. We scroll down here. We got a little bit of an update here from Peter Carr. He was asking because, hey, he's missing some stuff here, right? And it turns out he actually got an email back saying, hello, we are and this was posted 17 hours ago. We are unable at this stage to give precise answers. Significant work is underway and will take a few weeks, at least, perhaps months. As soon as possible, you and all backers will be informed. DPG, your Devil Pig team. Perhaps months. So that if you recall, I was going to come back to this, where it's like, oh, hey, we'll inform you as soon as these troubles cease, and we'll resume our activity. And yet they're out of, like, the Devil Pig is not a company anymore, so obviously they will not just resume as was. And then even an update when it comes to like this, where they're like hoping, hey, in the coming days. Nope, it looks like it might be months before they decide that it's worth updating their backers. And again, I know there's some legal stuff around this, but a lot of this can be shared. It's not like you can say nothing, because we've seen other liquidated companies that go to liquidation, file for bankruptcy, go out of business. Other people own all their IP and it's selling all that stuff, and they're still able to communicate more than what this is. So we know it's certainly possible. It's just unfortunate that they don't seem to want to tell you that. And I suspect, my opinion, it has something to do with that weird timeline around the fact that they've actually been liquidated for months now. And yet, like, it's like, obviously there's been some bad stuff, and yet they were holding the pledge manager open until just recently. And their website was open until just recently. Pretending everything's okay when everything's not. Super unfortunate. Let me know if you have any insight into this. Let me know if you have any opinions on this. Uh, it's stuff like this that hurts board games. Every good, honest company doing good work in board games right now suffers because of stuff like this. It scares people away. It makes people worried about their money. It hurts innocent people that were just enjoying this wonderful hobby. And it's so unfortunate to see either bad actors, bad business, bad decisions, just a whole bunch of bad on certain people affect everybody else that isn't doing anything wrong. It's just so unfortunate to see that often they almost end up on top, right? Whereas everybody else has lost not only a game perhaps, or two or three, unlike a Mythic Games case, but lost a passion for a hobby. When at some point all this negative experience kind of ruins the mood for it a little bit. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, but it kind of sours it a little bit, right? Like, yeah, you want to get excited. You want to love this board gaming hobby, but at the same time, it seems like everywhere you look, stuff like this is happening. And none of it's because they tried their best and they were over-communicative and they were sincere and apologetic and forthcoming. No, it's always, we find out months later that it's been crap for a while now and the Kickstarter was probably a sham and all this other junk. It's sad. Really, really sad. I want to end on a good note, though. So here's something kind of cool. You guys will like this. Village Attacks, Grim Dynasty, it might actually be made. That's super cool. That's super cool. Okay. Hello from Scoundrel Games Lab and an update on Grim Dynasty. Okay, so this guy, T.A. Gray. That's not a name, but I'll accept the initials and Gray. Mr. Gray here starts out with an apology. How is it that these companies that owe you nothing, that literally just bought the liquidated assets here, can be more sincere and apologetic than the people that took your money? So sad to see that while half the time, if you even mention Grimlord Games to some of the people that were at all even associated with it, their reaction is to ban you or hide your comment or push away from it or be defensive or be proud of your work in there and all this kind of stuff that I understand from a personal level, but I don't understand from an empathetic level. And yet this T.A. Gray guy from Scoundrel Games Labs starts out already more sincere and more caring than the people that were involved with this company before. And it's just so unfortunate, again, to see that sort of attitude. But it's great to see the attitude anyway from people like Mr. Gray here. So again, he's talking about the liquidators and what's going on, what's the plan. Village Attack Grim Dynasty, nothing was made. Nothing was produced. As far as he knows, this thing ain't a thing. It was just a campaign and an idea, a moneymaker for the people involved. They have either gone to make separate things, do separate things, live their life merrily while you get nothing. So they're going to try and do stuff like the print and play. They're going to try and do stuff like maybe some miniatures or some dice, maybe even a future crowdfunding efforts. But right now, there's not enough here. This is such a big task that it's not something where they can just like right now launch a Kickstarter and have it like fund the old one, right? Which happens sometimes. So they're going to look into all that stuff. But for now, definitely not a thing. But, stay tuned. For the Everrain, for Endure the Stars, there's some more information here. Again, I'll link down to this below as well. They always link to the Facebook group. They link to this email update, and they say they'll also be there on Kickstarter updating there as well. So it's just great to see that at least there are some good people out there that just care and want to make things better. Now, obviously, he bought this to make money, right? I mean, you don't like, you're not buying this IP just to like waste millions of dollars trying to like deliver this or whatever junk, right? I mean, there's nothing saying otherwise either, right? But they also realize the situation. Often these people are gamers, understand and are excited about the game, and when the opportunity comes to actually buy the game and maybe make it a real thing for once, they want to take it. I think that's super cool. That's great. So I'll keep updating you on this, of course. Thank you, Mr. Gray, for giving us some positive news and showing that not everybody in this industry is so selfish to just kind of not care about the people that they take money from. And to actually show, I don't know, maybe some empathy, some positive emotion besides boastfulness and uncaringness. Is that a word? Uncaring attitude? Whatever. Anyway, it's great to, I really wanted to end on that. So I like to mention the GameWorkCreate because, again, it's just a fun thing to show you guys. And they just offer cool stuff for you to get. And you actually get your item, which is pretty cool too. That's also kind of nice. And then people like Mr. Gray here starting out with an apology. Good job on that. Okay, so that's it. Let me know your thoughts on Devil Put Games or Pigs from Hell Games, or like whatever is going on there that we're not told about, nobody's mentioned. I'd love to hear if you have any information. So please let me know. Please reach out. I'd love to hear from you on that. I am investigating another issue. This one's taking a little bit more time. I am going to try and do some communication. They do not make it easy. So I'm working on it. Just know that that's coming up probably next week. So stay tuned for that, of course. And a regular news video, of course. More reviews, unboxings, everything you want to know about the board gaming space, especially when it comes to crowdfunded games like this. I am right here trying to give you as much information as I can. If you'd like to support, again, there is that GameWorkCreate link down below. And, of course, my Patreon YouTube member. Always thanks to them for supporting this. This is an expensive hobby. I buy a lot of games, play a lot of games, show you guys a lot of games, do a lot of work in this space, and they make that all possible. Thank you so much for that. And without further ado, have a great rest of your day. Take care, guys.